welcome, everybody. As you can see, there's an opportunity to be on the floor on a mat, or just on the floor, or on a chair. You might, if you're on the floor and have difficulty getting up and down off the floor, you can take a chair for support. This is really about you and what's best for you. I am going to do my best this morning to offer opportunities for those of us on the floor, opportunities for those of us on the chair. And I just really ask that you pay attention to your body. And if something hurts, to stop doing it. And also to let me know. And I will do my best to offer modifications as we go along. My name is Jaymee Alpert. I've had the chance to meet some of you over the past couple of days. It's wonderful to see you here this morning. I'm a rabbi, most recently located in New York. And what we'll be doing this morning is called NBS, or Neshama Body and Soul. The Hebrew word neshama means both breath and soul, and we need both to be fully alive, which is why I chose the name Neshama for this practice. We'll be having the opportunity to pray with our whole bodies. There will be time for self-reflection, meditation, and also time for exercise. And in this way, we'll really pray with our bodies in a new way and hopefully feel our neshama, both our breath and our soul, come alive. So with that in mind, we're going to begin with number 1 on page 1. This is the Asher Yatzar blessing. I spoke about it yesterday morning in services. It comes from the Talmud, which I think is remarkable. This prayer is 1,800 years old. And these ancient rabbis really understood the connection between our breath. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody on Zoom, can they hear you on Zoom?
Just an option, so you have it, just push the button.
We hear you on Zoom. Thank you.
Oh, super. Thank you. And welcome to everyone on Zoom. Great. So the ancient rabbis really understood the connection between the physical and the spiritual, and that's what we're connecting to as well. So let's read together in the English, number 1, page 1. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, fashioning the human body in wisdom, creating openings, arteries, glands, organs, marvelous in structure, intricate in design. Should but one of them fail to function by being blocked or opened, it would be impossible to survive and to serve you. Praised are you, Adonai, healer of all flesh, sustaining our bodies in wondrous ways. We're going to begin to gently wake up our bodies, and we might feel our neshama, our breath, wake up as well. So if you are on the floor, we're going to come into tabletop position. So your knees are under your hips and your wrists are under your shoulders, your elbows and then your shoulders. And we're going to do a little cat-cow, and we'll start with cow. So we're going to inhale, drop our bellies, lift our heads and tushes up, and then exhale and round your spine to the ceiling. And I will invite you to continue to do that a few times as you kind of loosen up your joints. You might feel a few pops or cracks. That's fine as long as it doesn't hurt. If you are in a chair, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to pull our shoulder blades back as we inhale. This is our cow. And then round our spines forward. Our hands come forward. This is our cat. So cow and cat, and feel sort of the opening in your body. This is a great chair option as well. Again, whatever works for you. We'll do just a couple more. Last one. And now we're going to stand up, or you're welcome to stay seated. And we're just going to make some big arm circles. So we're going to take our right arm forward, just nice, big, and controlled. This is just to wake up our bodies gently at first. We'll get our heart rates up in a minute. And let's take 2 more forward. And now right arm goes backward. Let's do 2 more, last one, and we'll shift to our left. So left arm comes forward. And you might notice that one arm has a wider range of motion than the other arm. Not really to judge, just to notice. do 2 more forward. And now let's go backward, the left arm. I hear a little early morning popping. 2 more.
It's late.
All right, and now,
What if anything does it mean if there's a little cracking in your shoulder like?
as long as it doesn't hurt, it's fine. I think it's pretty normal, pretty typical, once we're past the age of 12.
Oh, good, I've just made it.
In chairs, we're just going to sit down and come up on our toes and lower back to our heels for calf raises. And for those of us on our mat, we're going to lift up our right knee, bring it over to the side and down. You're welcome to take a chair for balance, piece of wall. You can do this standing, holding the chair, whatever is most comfortable. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And now we're going to shift to our right foot and our left knee will come up, out, and down. And if you are in a chair, step your feet out a little bit, come up onto your heels and lower down. So toes come up and down. And let's do 2 more. All right. And now, for those of us standing, we're going to take a nice wide stance. And we're going to shift our weight back and forth. So push your hips out and back and just come back and forth. And for those of us in the chair, we're going to reach across our bodies. And you can do this standing or sitting. And if you are rocking back and forth, we're going to add in some arms. So really feel your arms moving, your whole body is getting into it. Hopefully you feel a little bit more awake now than when you walked in the room. Great, and relax. We are going to join together in number 2 on page 1, Elohai Neshama. Again, there's that word, Neshama, breath and soul. Elohai Neshama, Shana Tata Bi Elohai. Elohai Neshama, in the chair, because we're going to continue warming up our neshama, our breath and our spirit. We're going to take the right hand up and the left hand back, really press, and then rotate. You can do this sitting or standing. If you are on your mat, we're going to do some jumping jacks or jumping taps. And I'm going to turn on our music, which comes from the weekday morning service. Naturally. It can't be an event without some sort of technical failure. There we go. Let's get our heart rate up. Again, taps are a great option to dance. Into the standing of the Ready, head in the arms. So it can also be standing whatever works. If you're on your mat, going to do, there's no good word, tush kickers. Feet come back and try to tap your tush. And when you've got this rhythm down, we're going to really reach and pull, reach and pull. Now we're going to reach. And just there. Welcome to stay with us. Or you can keep down to fire. And this is like horizontal shot. The line comes through the knee through the shoulder. We're jumping to the taps. We're gonna keep the legs rotating. Their hands up, place their fingers. And then up. Everybody feel their neshama, their breath. Whole body. All right, relax everybody. Okay.
What was it prayer that they were doing? What was
It's a psalm from the morning service. Just with the melodies that we'll use here and the prayers that we use here are from a weekday morning shachrit, weekday morning service. But the melodies might be a little bit different. And we're not going to recite all of shachrit.
Okay.
But we are going to recite several of Berchot HaShachar, the list of morning blessings that are recited at the beginning of each morning's service. I spoke about these yesterday morning. They come from the Talmud, and they each have both a physical and spiritual meaning to them. So this is a selection from, we'll recite them in Hebrew and in English. Whew, Neshama breath, right? Baruch atah Adonai Elohim haolam shasani b'shalom. Praised are you, Adonai, our God who rules the universe. You make me in your image. Baruch atah Adonai haolam. Praised are you, Adonai, our God. You open our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai haolam. It's your offspring. Praised are you, God, who releases the back. Those who are held captive. And of course, this has added meaning and power for us. Baruch atah Adonai haolam. Praised are you, Adonai, our God. You straighten the bent over. Really good time for a stretch. Baruch atah Adonai haolam. Shasani. Praised are you, our God. You give me all I need. Baruch atah Elohim. Praised are you, our God. You made fur. Baruch Elohim. Praise for you. Good. You give me praise. If you're coming from that walk or swim. We're going to all have a seat, whether on the mat or on the chair. And I'd like to offer the following for a little bit of self-reflection. A little later on, we'll do this holding plank or again seated in the chair. But right now, this is just an opportunity to turn inward with some things to consider. So Rosh Chodesh Sivan, the month that contains the festival of Shavuot, begins this Friday. And I like to think of Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of each new month, as a mini reset. It is not on par with Rosh Hashanah, but it does allow us to take stock of the last month and to evaluate what went well and what could have gone better, and to set goals for the month ahead. And our tradition offers us an added opportunity to think ahead. On the Shabbat immediately preceding Rosh Chodesh, we add a special prayer to the service, asking God for physical and spiritual blessings in the coming month. Yesterday morning at services, we recited this blessing called Birkat HaChodesh, blessed spirit. And it says, I should mention, it also comes from the Talmud, so it goes way, way back. And it says, may it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, grant that this coming month bring us goodness and blessing, and bestow on us a long life, a life that is peaceful, a life that is good, a life that is blessed, a life with proper sustenance, a life with physical vitality, a life conscious of heaven's demands and wary of sin, a life free from shame and reproach, a life of abundance and honor, a life of love of Torah, a life in which the worthy desires of our hearts are fulfilled. So as we prepare for Rosh Chodesh Sivan, I invite you to take a moment to ask yourself, how do I want to reset in the coming month? What is one thing that I'm proud of that I will continue to do? And what is one thing that I will begin to change? Take a moment. As we consider our reset, we'll also ask, how will I work toward getting stronger physically and spiritually during the month of Sivan? Going to join together in number 5 on page 3, Ashrei, talks about entering God's house. And when we do, we enter fully with all of our gifts and with all of our yearnings. Ashrei Yoshvei, Ashrei Yoshvei B'Torah, Ashrei Yoshvei B'Torah, Od Yehalel Sa. Ashrei Yoshvei, Ashrei Yoshvei, Ashrei Yoshvei B'Torah, Od Yehalel Sa. Ashrei Yoshvei, Ashrei Yoshvei B'Torah, Ashrei Yoshvei B'Torah, Od Yehalel Sa. Now going to move into our first set of movements. If you are on chair, when we begin, we'll invite you to raise one knee, straighten your leg, bend your knee, and put it back down. Alternate, lift your other leg up, straighten, bend, back down. So that's going to be our movement. If you're on your mat, I'll invite you to stand up. And we're going to do alternating lunges. So we'll begin by stepping our right foot forward and dropping our left knee toward the mat. Then we'll bring our right leg back and step forward with our left knee and drop our right knee toward the mat. So I'm going to turn our playlist back on. So legs come up and come back. Lunge up and back. This is an opportunity to feel the floor beneath our feet. Kind of give it into it and push ourselves back up, lifting our legs, bringing them back down. Our footsteps. We can think about what grounds us, what pushes us down, and how we lift ourselves up. Let's do 2 more each side. 1 more each side. Breath for a moment. If you are seated, we're going to keep working on our legs. We're going to lift one leg up. And we're going to point our toes, make control circles in the air. One direction, then the other direction, then we'll switch legs. If you are on the mat, don't burn yourself out, just get, we'll start the second. I invite you to come back down. Tabletop position. We're going to start with our right leg. We're going to bend our knee, hopefully parallel to shoulders or slopes. With big circles in the air. Okay. Right leg circles. Everybody switch direction. Same legs, not right leg. These exercises are great to counteract the sitting that most of us do. Good for the hip and good for the knee. And switch legs. So left leg, point toe, circles. Left leg, towards the shoulder. First direction. Relax, everyone. If you are on the mat, spin around. So you're going to sit at tush. Heels on the floor, toes in the air. We're going to lean back to these are support our back. We're going to reach up over our heads and then back down behind us as far as you can reach. We're going to make a rainbow and we're going to come up and down. If you are in the chair and we're going to bring our arms into an elbow, into a W. Imagine a wall behind you. Push up and come back down. Really sit up straight, engage your core, feel your feet on the floor. Catch your breath, rainbow makers. We're going to do a few more. Here we go.
Ready? Absolutely. Good.
If you want more of a challenge, you can lift a foot or 2
Or not.
or none. 2 more. W's and rainbows. Everybody's reaching up toward the ceiling. And think about what lifts us up in life as well. If you are seated, going to start with our right arm. We're going to reach up and pull back into a row. Really flex that bicep as you come back. So that's our movement. Then we'll switch to the left arm. On the floor, we're going to do push-ups. You can do these on your toes or on your knees. You can also pull up a piece of wall. That feels better for you. So lots of variations. Okay. Push-ups, right arm into a row. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And rest for a moment. We're going to do a few more. Left arm pushes up, pulls back into a row. Really flex that bicep as you do it. Push-ups. Here we go. Few more. I love about rendition is that we sort of have to release ourselves toward the floor, release ourselves and let gravity take hold. Then let's do one more. We have to push away, right? That's how we push ourselves up. Like when do we kind of surrender? When do we push back? Which I think is such an important lesson in life. When do we give in? And when do we say nope? Push back. With the rowing, we can think about like how do we raise ourselves up? And what sometimes holds us. We're going to relax, everybody. We're going to join together in Psalm 150. It's number 6 on page 3. Again, part of the morning liturgy. And this psalm concludes with Kol Hanishamat Hallelujah, right? Let every breath praise God, or with every breath inside of me, with all of my soul, praise God. Kol Hanishamat Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Kol Hanishamat Hallelujah, 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 Dekocho, Hallelujah, Dekiyazo, Hallelujah, Nikuro, Hallelujah, Dekocho, Kahanshamata, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Take a shofar, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Neshama, I'm going to start the second set of those movements. So if you're on the mat, we're going to come back to lunges. And if you are in the chair, remember this one. One knee comes up, straight out, bend, back down, alternating. Okay. And same thing with the lunges. We're going to be alternating. So we're going to start with the right leg, everybody. Left knee comes down, right leg steps. Left leg comes forward, right knee goes down, left leg steps back. One knee at a time, raise up, straighten out, then back down. And if you want, you can raise your hands above your head and see how that changes your balance. Some people find it easier, some people find it more challenging. I'm here to not save you. Are you okay?
It's a limb move.
It's all about finding our balance. Okay. And I think it's true in exercise and it's true in life, right? Where we all have balance that we can work on. Right? Work life. Let's do one more each side. And relax. Okay, knee circles. These are the leg circles we're going to start with. The up, we one direction, the other. Back, folks, we're back in tabletop position. The right knee comes up. For these circles. All right, right leg, everybody. Everybody's making a circle. Which is also a great metaphor. Right? Life is not linear. Sometimes we feel like we're going around in circles. Circles are also a sign of weakness. Let's switch directions with the right leg. One more. And let's switch legs. So left leg comes up, toes pointed, little circle. Right feet comes up toward the shoulder, left knee rather. The shoulder, big circle. Two more. And switch directions.
מנהים שבט אחים ואחיות, שרוצים לחיות, לעבור את הכל, בעיניים פתוחות, בידיים מקבלות, ובידיעה שכולנו משפחה ומודעת שתורש מקום גדול, כשגורמים מובילים צבעים, אז נשמה.
Again, but life is not linear. Sometimes what we're looking for is on the floor. Sometimes it's finding us or more of a challenge. One, two. We're going to use again. Feet on the floor, or if you want me to foot. Imagine the wall behind you is
אש, אני מבקש, ניתן מצב רוח לעצור, שעשן עלינו, אתם מרגיש את הרגע, פוגע במציאות, נוגע, שובר, ותמיד, הראש, מתאחד, שזו מידי, ששון,
in your core, physical core, our spiritual core. Makes us who we are. Two more. Last one. Are seated. We're going to root up. They pull. Row. Push-ups. Again, on your toes, on knees, against the wall, whatever works for your feet. Looks like here. Relax. Push-up people. Arm rowing people with change to the left arms. Reach up. Pull back. Reach up. Pull back. And again, reach this on towards something. We're going to do some push-ups. Into the floor, surrender. Against the push up down. Two more. One more. Relax. Anybody else feel there? Neshama? Feel warm. It is very warm. It's like hot Neshama. Okay. So I mentioned yesterday in services that I like to add in some time for self-reflection, meditation. You're welcome to close your eyes, leave your eyes open, whatever works for you. And that for those of us who are interested / able, I like to use plank as an opportunity for the self-reflection. So you're welcome to stay seated on your mat, seated in the chair, whatever works for you. But if you're going to join me in a plank, and we're not going to do it just yet, but I want to give you some options. So you can be in a tall plank with your arms straight. You can do this on your knees or toes, or you can come down onto your forearms, again on your knees or your toes, or you can do a plank against the wall. If you are staying seated in your chair, we're going to come forward a bit. Keep our feet firmly planted on the ground. Engage our abs, sitting up nice and tall and straight. And really like supporting our lower back by tightening our abs. Okay. Here is something to think about. During this time of the year, from Passover, when we celebrate freedom from slavery, Shavuot, when we celebrate receiving Torah at Mount Sinai, we count the days of the Omer. For 7 weeks, we are acutely aware of the passage of time as we count each day. And there are different qualities or characteristics or midot associated with each week of the Omer, so that we can do some inner or internal accounting as well. Today is the 40th day.
Thank you.
Today is the 40th day of the Omer. And the quality that we focus on during this week is called Yesod, which means foundation. And traditionally, we think of Yesod as a foundation that leads to bonding with others. We create sacred relationships when we can move beyond our own needs to connect with one another. But I think that before we can create these healthy and holy relationships, we need to make sure that our own foundation is strong. In a way, we need to bond with ourselves. So as we get ready to move into this plank or get ready to sit in that strong, tall meditation pose, I invite you to consider your own yesod, your own foundation, both your physical and your spiritual yesod. What is durable and what needs tending to? How will you take care of yourself physically and spiritually so that your yesod, your foundation, will be strong and also resilient? How might taking care of yourself help you to bond with yourself so that you can then bond with other people in a healthy way? We're going to keep all of that in mind and begin to answer those questions as we get into the sit tall seated meditation position, or come into plank, whichever plank works for you. And we'll sit or plank for about a minute as we consider our yesod, our foundation. Play. And more seconds. And relax. You're welcome to come into child's pose if that feels good. During the Omer, we work on our yesod, but it's good to remember that we don't have to work on it alone. We're going to join together in verse 7 on page 3, Ozi v'zimrat yah. Adonai is my strength and my might. God is my deliverance. God will support us as we work to strengthen our yesod. Going to begin our second group of movements. So if you are seated in a chair, we're going to come forward in the chair. You can hold on or not, and we're going to step to the side, alternating legs. And if you'd like, once this is comfortable, you can add an arm. So this is the movement. If you are on the mat, we're going to stand up for some squats. So you'll want your feet hip width or a little better than hip width. You can have your toes pointing forward or angled out a little bit. And we're going to sit back as though we were sitting in a chair. And when we come up, we're going to push through our heels. And again, this is an opportunity to think about what grounds us in life as we feel the floor beneath our feet supporting us. And as we relax, we haven't even started yet. So just catch your breath for 1 minute. If you would like this time for yourself, you can just stay on your mat and squat. If you would like to bond with another person, you can find a partner. And it can just use you as an example. And you'll cross hands and lean back and come up. And the more you trust each other, the more you can lean back and deeper into that squat. So your choice, you can either bond with another or use this time for yourself. And we're going to, again, be stepping out with arms and legs on the chair. So, and if you get really fancy, you can high five each other with as bonding. So here we go. I'm happy to be a partner if someone wants.
Not fall down. It's the theory.
Let's do 3 more. And relax. We're gonna do a few more of the squats and a few more of the stepping to the side. And again, you can find a partner or use this time for yourself. Each other from the chair. Push through your heels as you come up. We think about what keeps us grounded and what lifts us up. And relax. Nicely done, everyone. There's feet after. There's feet after. Oh, group in chairs. We're going to do variation. We're going to step to the right and lean over with our right arm. Step to the left and lean over to the right with the left arm. So it's the same arm and leg, but your arms and legs are going in opposite directions, making a nice diagonal with your body. You can do it seated or standing. On the mat, rolling back down to the mat. Top, good. Or bird dog. So right arm goes out, left leg comes back. You can stay here. So right opposite arm, opposite leg. Or crunch your right elbow to your left knee. Drawing a nice diagonal with your palm. So let's do 2 more. Last one. Switch sides. So Left arm goes out, right leg goes back. Elbow. Balance. It's great. You think about what keeps us balanced, what makes us strong. You might notice one side is harder than the other. It's as an opportunity to think about what the balance is in our lives, how we keep pace, how we meet up with grace. One more. Stay down. One more move. If you are on a chair. Going to march our legs. Reach out with both arms. Pull back. Reach out. Really squeeze those shoulder blades. Flex your biceps. Start on the floor. We're going to come onto our left forearm. Side. Your feet be stacked. For more stability, you can bring your right toes behind your left heels. And if you want a further modification, you can bend at the knees. And that'll make it a little bit more manageable. So we're going to come up and we're going to take our right hand by our right ear and crunch our right elbow to our left wrist. Let's do two more. Let's switch sides. So come onto your right forearm. Again, you can stack your feet or have your left toes behind your right heel. On the chair, we're going to really hold on. Bring our legs out. So tighten the core. Back down. Out. Back down. Really squeeze those abs. Protect your lower back. Here we go. For side and pause.
So.
We're going to get ready for another seated meditation or plank meditation. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, Sivan is the month that contains the festival of Shavuot, when we celebrate receiving Torah and revelation at Sinai. So while we think of Shavuot as an intellectual holiday, right, receiving Torah, and then an all-night Tikkun Leil Shavuot, all-night Torah study, it's actually also quite physical. The description of God revealing God's self to the children of Israel is so intense that the people actually get confused in all of their senses. The Torah teaches that the people standing at the foot of Mount Sinai see the thunder and hear the lightning. The Midrash talks about hearing a deafening silence. And the 19th century rabbi Naftali Tzvi Horowitz describes hearing only the silent aleph in the word Anochi, the first letter of the first word of the 10 commandments. And of course, aleph is silent, but somehow the people were able to hear it. The contemporary Rabbi Wayne Dosick explains that the word Anochi connotes the wholeness of my being, or the me-ness of me. It is overwhelming to consider the wholeness of God's being. Yet contemplating God's being often leads us to think about our own being as well, since we're made in God's image and we understand God through the lens of who we are. So as we prepare to move into this next seated meditation or plank meditation, I invite you to think about your own Anochi. Who or what is the you-ness of you? Who are you in your core? What do you know to be true about yourself? We need our core, both our physical core and our spiritual center, to be strong and engaged so that we can live authentically in the usness of us, in the you-ness of you, in the me-ness of me. So as we move into plank, as we move into our seated meditation pose, I invite you to consider one way that you will work on your physical and spiritual core, your center, so that you will live more fully in the wholeness of your being. We're going to sit or plank in variation you wish for another minute. Seconds. And relax. Going to join together in the first line of the Shema, it's number 10 on page 4. We will use one breath for each word so that we can really listen for the voice of God and for the voice that comes from the deepest parts of ourselves, that me-ness of me, that you-ness of you. Shema. Going to take a moment to stretch. In your chair, we're going to come back to cow. So we're going to bring our arms back, squeeze your shoulder blades as our heads come up. And then round your spine as your arms come forward, back and forth. If you are on the mat and you feel comfortable, we're going to come into downward dog. To upward dogs, and it can be always the rest of my body. Then you push back into child's pose, big toes together and go wide. Push your tush back to feel a little space on sort of there. When you're ready, let's do that sequence again down the chairs. We're going to take across our body gently with our left arm. Now let's fold our arm back, press on the biceps, give a nice stretch. Now let's stretch. Steady. Powerful. If you are on the mat, you can rest in child's pose or come back to cow. On the chair, let's place our fingers out in front, and if we can, up. Now lower your arms. Let's do it again so we can push front. Press down one more time. Sit down. Out. I feel that stretch. Now, we're all going to do a figure 4 stretch. So if you are in the chair, we're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee. Raise your abs, lower your chest, or your legs. You can either be in pigeon pose on that, or you can look onto that. Press your right ankle over your left knee. Grab your left leg, bring everything towards your chest. And if you want a more intense stretch, you can press your right elbow into your leg. Going to lower everything down to the floor, and everyone is going to switch legs. So now it'll be left ankle over right knee. Chest toward your legs if you're seated, or pick your legs up and bring them toward the chest on the floor. And for more intensity, can gently press your left elbow into your leg or hold your left knee down. And yes, come out of this sentence. And let's join together in Oseh Shalom. It's number 14 on page 5. I feel like the world needs our prayers for peace pretty desperately. And as we pray for the world, we also pray that we can find some inner peace as well. Thank you for joining me this morning for this NBS way, Neshama Body Soul, of praying with our whole bodies. If you'd like to take something from the practice, If you've been on the mat, I invite you to bring the rainbows into your life, right? What lifts you up? What are we reaching for? What are we striving for? Again, with both feet on the floor or one leg up, two legs up. If you have been on the chair, and this is a great practice for everyone. You can do it on the floor, against the wall, sitting up straight. Bring your arms into an elbow, into a W. Bend your elbows, bring your arms into a W, and then press up. It's an opportunity to work on shoulder mobility. And again, that whole notion of reaching up. What are we striving for? What lifts us up? Thank you so much for this practice. There are snacks, smoothies, and water, and I'm happy to stay in chat if you have questions or just chat in general. Also, my contact information is on the back. Occasionally, I lead NBS online. If you'd like to be added to my email list, I'm happy to include you. And I will, once Rabbi Alex returns, I will also be in touch with her about scheduling another session specifically for B'nai Yeshurun.
Thanks.
Boker Tov, everybody.